The hurricane hunters are air crews that fly into tropical cyclones in the North Atlantic Ocean and Northeastern Pacific Ocean to gather weather data. Currently, the U.S. units that fly these missions are the United States Air Force Reserve's 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Hurricane Hunters. Such missions have also been flown by Navy units in Vermont and other Air Force and NOAA units. Only one U.S. aircrew has ever been lost during such missions since they started in 1943, during World War II. Before satellites were used to find storms, military aircraft flew routine weather reconnaissance tracks to detect formation of tropical cyclones. Today, satellites have revolutionized weather forecasters' ability to detect signs of such cyclones before they form, yet they cannot determine the interior barometric pressure of a hurricane nor provide accurate wind speed information or data needed to accurately predict hurricane development and movement. Units USAFR 53rd WRS equals. The Air Force Reserve 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron, the world's only operational military weather reconnaissance unit, is based at Kessler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi. Most weather recon flights go from there. The term Hurricane Hunters was first applied to its missions in 1946. The USAFR Hurricane Hunters fly weather missions in an area midway through the Atlantic Ocean to the Hawaiian Islands, and have on occasion flown into typhoons in the Pacific Ocean and gathered data in winter storms. The 53rd WRS Hurricane Hunters operate 10 Lockheed WC-130J aircraft, which fly directly into the hurricane, typically penetrating the hurricane's eye several times per mission at altitudes between 500 feet and 10,000 feet. NOAA Hurricane Hunters equals. The civilian and NOAA core crew members of the NOAA Hurricane Hunters, based at the Aircraft Operations Center at MacDill AFB, in Tampa, Florida, mainly perform surveillance, research, and reconnaissance with highly instrumented aircraft including airborne Doppler weather radar measurements in both Atlantic and Pacific storms. They fly 2 Lockheed WP-3D Orion aircraft, heavily instrumented flying laboratories modified to take atmospheric and radar measurements within tropical cyclones and winter storms, and a GIV Gulfstream high-altitude jet above 41,000 feet to document upper and lower-level winds that affect cyclone movement. The computer models that forecast hurricane tracks and intensity mainly use GIV drop wind sun data collected day and night in storms affecting the United States. History. Among the types of aircraft that have been used to investigate hurricanes, are an instrumented Lockheed U-2 flown in Hurricane Guinea during the 1963 Atlantic hurricane season. Other types include the A-20 Havoc, 1944. B-24, 1944 Euro 1945. B-17, 1945 Euro 1947. B-25, 1946 Euro 1947. B-29, 1946 Euro 1947. WB-29, 1951 Euro 1956. WB-50, 1956 Euro 1963. WB-47, 1963 Euro 1969. WC-121N 1954 to 1973. WC-130A, B, E, H, 1965 to 2012. The idea of aircraft reconnaissance of hurricane storm trackers was put forth by Captain W. L. Farnsworth of the Galveston Commercial Association in the early 1930s. Supported by the United States Weather Bureau, the Storm Patrol Bill passed both the United States Senate and United States House of Representatives on June 15, 1936. 1943 Surprise Hurricane equals, the 1943 Surprise Hurricane, which struck Houston, Texas, during World War II, marked the first intentional meteorological flight into a hurricane. It started with a bet. That summer, British pilots were being trained in instrument flying at Bryan Field. When they saw that the Americans were evacuating their AT-6 Texan trainers in the face of the storm, they began questioning the construction of the aircraft. Lead instructor Major Casey Hamilton took one of the trainers out and flew it straight into the eye of the storm. After he returned safely with Navigator Lieutenant Ralph O'Hare, the base's weather officer, Lieutenant William Jones Burdick, took over the navigator's seat and Joseph Duckworth flew into the storm a second time. This flight showed that hurricane reconnaissance flights were possible, and further flights continued occasionally. In 1946, the moniker Hurricane Hunters was first used, and the Air Force and now Air Force Reserve have used it ever since. VW4 The United States Navy's VW4/Weather Reconnaissance 4 Weather Reconnaissance Squadron 4, Hurricane Hunters was the 7th U.S. Navy squadron dedicated to weather reconnaissance. They flew several types of aircraft, but the WC-121N Willie Victor was the aircraft most often associated with flying into the eye of the storm. The squadron operated WC-121s between late 1954 and 1972. VW-4 lost one aircraft and crew in a penetration of Hurricane Janet, and another to severe damage in a storm, but the mortally damaged Willie Victor brought her crew home, though it never flew again. During 1973 to 1975, VW-4 operated the turbine propeller Lockheed WP-3A Orion. =138 In 1974, a newly converted WC-130 was transferred to the 54th Weather Reconnaissance Squadron, the Typhoon Chasers, at Andersen Air Force Base on Guam. The aircraft was sent to investigate Typhoon Bess. The crew departed Clark Air Base in the Philippines with the call sign SWAN-38. Radio contact with the aircraft was lost on October 12, 1974, apparently as the aircraft was heading into the typhoon's eye to make a second position fix. There were no radio transmissions indicating an emergency on board, and search teams could not locate the aircraft or its crew. All 6 crew members were listed as killed in action. SWAN-38 was the only WC-130 lost in a storm. Hurricane Katrina The landfall of Hurricane Katrina on August 29, 2005 devastated Kessler Air Force Base, home of the 53rd WRS. The equipment and personnel of the squadron were flying out of Dobbins Air Reserve Base near Atlanta. Despite heavy losses, the squadron never missed a mission from the National Hurricane Center. The 53rd has since returned to Kessler. TV series, a reality television series featuring the USAF 53rd, also entitled Hurricane Hunters, debuted on the Weather Channel in July 2012, official page for the TV series. See also, Storm Chasing. Bibliography, Marson, Peter J., The Lockheed Constellation Series, 1982, Air Britain Limited, Tonbridge, Kent. ISBN 0-85130-100-2. References. External links. The NOAA Hurricane Hunters Flight Science homepage, Hunting Hurricane Hugo Flight of NOAA 42, Navy Hurricane Hunters homepage, 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron homepage, 403rd Wing homepage, Air Weather Reconnaissance Association homepage, ASN Accident Description October 13, 1974 Lockheed WC-130H Hercules 65-0965, NHC Reconnaissance Data Archive, the NOAA Aircraft Operations Center homepage, VW1 All Hands Alumni Association homepage, Whiskey Charlie, Why and How People Fly Under Hurricanes, USA Today, Sidebar, Fatal Flights.